where the darkness is so total, so absolute, it has never known a single photon of sunlight. It's a world of eternal minority of crushing silence, and of mysteries we are only beginning to fathom. This isn't a distant planet in a far-off solar system. This is the deep ocean. And here's the wild part. We've mapped the surface of Mars in greater detail than our own seafloor. Every time you look out at the open water, you're staring at the greatest unknown on Earth. The real final frontier isn't above us. It's below. We think we know our world. We've summited its peaks, traversed its deserts, and charted its continents. But beneath the familiar blue veneer of our oceans lies a reality so alien, so overwhelmingly vast, it forces us to rewrite the very definition of life itself. This is a frontier not of space, but of depth. And its greatest secret isn't if it holds life, but what bizarre, breathtaking forms that life has taken in the utter absence of everything we consider essential. What does it mean to be alive when you've never seen the sun, never felt a breath of wind, and your entire world exists under the weight of a mountain range? The answers are down there, waiting in the dark. Our journey begins at the very edge of the possible, the Mariana Trench. In the Pacific, near Guam, there is a scar on the Earth's crust so deep, you could submerge Mount Everest and still have over a mile of water above its peak. This is Challenger Deep, the deepest known point. To go there is to venture into a realm of pure geology, a place where the planet itself is raw and exposed. The pressure here is beyond comprehension, over 8 tons per square inch. It's the equivalent of having 50 jumbo jets stacked on top of you. For decades, we believed this was a desert, a cold, sterile, lifeless plain, a place where only the hardiest microbes could cling to existence. We were so wrong. The first shock came not from what was missing, but from what was thriving. When deep-sea submersibles finally pierced that eternal darkness, their lights didn't reveal barren emptiness. They revealed life. Not just simple microbes, but complex, astonishing animals, perfectly evolved for an existence we can barely imagine. We saw the ethereal, ghostly snailfish, a gelatinous creature that swims with ease at depths that would implode almost any other fish. Its body is so adapted to the pressure that bringing it to the surface is impossible. It simply dissolves in the comparative nothingness of our world. Think about that. It's a creature forever bound to the abyss, so specialized it cannot even be visited by our science without disintegrating. That alone should shatter our assumptions about where and how life can persist. But the real mind-blowing moment, when we looked out into the black and saw not just animals surviving, but entire ecosystems flourishing in the complete absence of the sun. No photosynthesis, no light-dependent food chain. How is that even possible? The answer is as wild as it is profound. Chemosynthesis. Down there, at cracks in the seafloor called hydrothermal vents, superheated water, rich in minerals and toxic chemicals, spews from the Earth's interior. It's a 700-degree Fahrenheit brew of hydrogen sulfide, methane, and heavy metals, a cocktail that is pure poison to surface life. And around these infernal, mineral-laden plumes, life has built its own paradise. Giant tube worms, taller than a person, clad in red, fleshy sheaths, host bacteria inside them that convert the vent's poisonous hydrogen sulfide into energy. They have no mouth, no gut. They are fed entirely by this internal, chemical miracle. Blind white crabs skitter in armies across the rock. Pale, ghostly shrimp swarm the plumes. Mussels form vast beds in water that would cook a surface creature. It's an oasis built not on light, but on the very chemistry of the planet. This discovery didn't just add a new species to a catalog. It fundamentally expanded the concept of where life can exist in the universe. If it can happen here, in this hellish sunless vent, then the icy moons of Jupiter and Saturn, with their suspected subsurface oceans and hydrothermal activity, suddenly look a lot more interesting. The deep ocean stopped being just a part of Earth and became a template for other worlds. And then, there's the light. In a world of absolute dark, life creates its own bioluminescence. This is where the deep sea becomes a living galaxy. We're not talking about a few flickers. Scientists estimate that over 75% of creatures in the mid-water and deep zones are bioluminescent in some way. They flash, they glow, they shimmer. The anglerfish, with its terrifying grin and a built-in fishing rod tipped with a luminous lure, is just the poster child. There are jellyfish that pulse with rainbows, squid that light up their entire bodies like Broadway signs, and tiny comb jellies that scatter light in dizzying fractals. There's the vampire squid, a living relic that, when threatened, doesn't shoot ink, but instead ejects a cloud of glowing, sticky bioluminescent particles to confuse predators in the dark. And there are the dinoflagellates, tiny plankton that turn the wake of a submersible into a swirling nebula of blue-green stars. But here's the crazy cool part. They're not just decorating. This light is a language, a tool for survival in the ultimate game of hide-and-seek. A flash can startle a predator. A steady glow can attract prey, or lure a mate in the infinite, empty vastness. Some deep-sea fish have evolved headlights organs under their eyes packed with light-producing bacteria, illuminating the path ahead. Others, like the stoplight, luja, use a sinister trick. They produce a red light. Most deep-sea creatures can't see red. Their world is shades of blue and green. So this fish has essentially developed a private, invisible flashlight to hunt with, seeing its prey while remaining unseen itself. And then there's counter-illumination animals like some squid and fish light up their undersides with photophores to perfectly match the faint glow from the surface far above, erasing their silhouette from below. They are, in essence, invisible. This is warfare and communication conducted entirely in photons, a secret light show that has been playing for millions of years, unseen by human eyes until the last blink of our technological history. We are just now learning to see in the dark, and the language we're discovering is written in flashes and glows. So we have crushing pressure, eternal dark, and ecosystems powered by planetary breath. What else could there be? How about the sheer, staggering scale of what we don't know? We have physically explored less than 5% of the ocean floor. Let that sink in. We have better maps of the moon. Every single time a new remotely operated vehicle or submersible and it's almost a guarantee that we'll discover a species that is new to science. Not just tiny worms either. We're talking about entire new categories of life. In the last decade alone, we've found glassed octopuses with transparent skin revealing their beating organs, drifting like living crystal in the current. We've discovered supergiant amphipods, enormous shrimp-like creatures the size of your arm scavenging in the trench. We've recorded new, mysterious whale songs from species we've likely never seen. We've stumbled upon fields of ancient coral reefs and sponges that are thousands of years old, living archives of our planet's climate history. Their skeletons holding records of ocean temperature and chemistry stretching back further than the oldest trees on land. This exploration isn't just about satisfying curiosity. It's a race against time and a dive into our own future. The deep ocean is the ultimate regulator of our climate. It's the planet's thermal buffer and carbon sink. The vast, slow-moving currents of the deep circulate heat around the globe and sequester carbon dioxide in its depths for millennia. It's the planet's heartbeat and its lung. But we are now affecting even these remote, seemingly untouchable realms. Microplastics have been found in the guts of amphipods, from the very bottom of the Mariana Trench. Chemical pollutants like PCBs persist in deep-sea organisms. The slow, inevitable changes in temperature and acidity from surface warming are creeping downward, threatening to dissolve the calcium carbonate shells of deep-sea corals and mollusks. We are altering the chemistry and physics of a system we do not yet understand, and the consequences are the ultimate unknown. Exploring the deep isn't just about discovery. It's about diagnosis. It's about understanding the health of a patient we've only just met, a patient that is keeping our entire world stable. And the future of this exploration, it's as thrilling as the discoveries themselves. We're on the cusp of a new golden age, moving from the era of the heroic explorer to the age of the persistent observer. Imagine fleets of autonomous AI-driven drones, smaller and cheaper than current subs, swarming the depths, communicating with each other, mapping and sampling with relentless efficiency, building a real-time dynamic model of the deep. Imagine new materials, inspired by the deep-sea creatures themselves, proteins from extremophiles that could lead to new medicines, or enzymes from vent bacteria that can break down plastics. Imagine flexible silicon-based robotics that can withstand pressure by mimicking the soft, gelatinous bodies of the snailfish, rather than fighting the pressure with thick, heavy steel. Imagine permanent underwater stations, like the International Space Station of the Abyss, where aquanauts can live for months, studying this world in real time without the dangerous and time-consuming commute from the surface. The technology is moving from the realm of the heroic, one-off expedition to the routine, sustained observation. We will no longer be tourists. We will be neighbors. But with this future comes profound questions and a looming crossroads. As we find more, we also find more to covet. The deep seafloor is littered with polymetallic nodules, potato-sized rocks packed with cobalt, nickel, copper, and rare earth elements crucial for our batteries, smartphones, and green energy technologies. Hydrothermal vent fields are surrounded by rich crusts of minerals. The temptation to mine this final frontier is immense, backed by trillions of dollars and our insatiable demand for technology. And the stakes are unimaginably high. These mining operations propose using giant vacuum cleaners on the seafloor, sucking up nodules and everything living on and around them, creating sediment plumes that could smother life for miles. We could be on the verge of destroying ancient fragile ecosystems that may hold cures for diseases, keys to carbon sequestration, or simply the intrinsic right to exist before we even learn what they are. The ethical dilemma is stark and urgent. Do we have the wisdom to understand a world before we exploit it? This isn't just science. It's a test of our character. Will we be the generation that finally saw the deep ocean, only to plunder it in the dark? So, where does that leave us? At the beginning, we stand on the shore, looking out at the waves, and we now know that the real story isn't on the surface. It's in the vast, silent, pressurized world below, a world of living light and chemical fire, a world that holds clues to the origin of life on Earth, and perhaps beyond, a world that is critical to our survival, yet remains mostly a mystery. The ultimate underwater mystery isn't a lost city or a legendary monster. The ultimate mystery is the sheer, breathtaking scale of our own ignorance. We share this planet with an alien world, one of crushing beauty and silent wonders, and we are only now learning to knock on its door. Every descent into the dark is a message in a bottle sent to our own planet, and the messages coming back are rewriting the story of life. They tell us life is tougher, more creative, and more widespread than we ever dreamed. The deep ocean doesn't just hide creatures. It hides truths about resilience, about alternative ways to live, and about the delicate, interconnected systems that make our pale blue dot a living world. And as the light of our technology and the light of our curiosity finally pierce that eternal night, we are faced with a humbling, powerful realization. We are not just exploring the ocean. In the dark, under the pressure, amidst the silent flashes of living stars, we are exploring the very limits of possibility. And we are just getting started.